right. Well, hello, fantasy draft fans. Adam Pope here, down on the field. We're getting ready for the events that will unfold here. The 2023 superhero fantasy draft. Wizards, the podcast guide to comics. It launched last year. Huge hit, huge hit. People all over the world clamoring for more, and so it is back in an extreme edition. We're going to get some more details about that here. We're with the Commissioner Michael Canetti. Commissioner, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very excited about this event this year. We've got some really good contestants. We've got a great lineup of heroes to play around with and have some fun with. It's going to be a wild time. Let me tell you, there is some crazy, fast and furious activity that's going to go on. We've got a really great spreadsheet, a great lineup. My goodness, you're going to have a blast.
Concerning the spreadsheet, Commissioner, we just want to address some rumors that have been going on in the press, saying you've been spending a little bit too much time ordering hot toys, not really paying attention to the spreadsheet. Would you care to address those rumors, those comments?
I can't confirm or deny any of that information right now.
Okay. Well, I'm sure as the events unfold, we'll have some idea what's going on there. Allow me to ask you this. There is a lot of strategy here. You yourself, a veteran of fantasy sports, and you took over, the role of commissioner as an opportunity to spread that into the world of comic books. As far as strategies go, what do you think the competitors are going to be looking to do this time around?
Well, this is a snake draft, so it wraps around and you can really lean into where your position is. The tricky part is knowing where to pull the right character and not try to grab a character too early, right? So you don't want to go for all your heavy hitters in the beginning and have nothing toward the end. You got to really sort of lean into what you think would be the best blend of a team that would balance out each other. And it can be a really tricky thing, especially if you're in the tops and bottom end of the draft. So you got to have a little bit of creative vision for how you want to pull this thing out, you know?
Yeah, well, a lot of folks and fans are speaking their mind online, talking about this year's list. They're saying it's a bit of a hodgepodge. They're looking at groups like Plasma from the Marvel UK line, Mad Dog, the strange tie-in comic to the Bob sitcom from the '90s, even Milk and Cheese, certainly a fan favorite for the underground, but maybe not a lot of people have read it back in the day. What are your thoughts on some of the names we're going to be seeing available for selection?
I think the real sleeper pick is going to be Too Much Coffee Man. I think that's going to be the real sleeper. And I think there's going to be a real hunt for the Rocketeer. That's going to be the one that everyone's going to be fighting over, I think.
Oh, high flying action for sure. We know you got to get into the game. It's about ready to start here. But we do have the returning champion this year, Jim, who really swept it last year. Usually comes in with a mountain of paperwork, a lot of preparation. Do you think any amount of preparation can truly secure you the win, or is it really just you got to be fast on your toes, fast on your feet?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Neil win last year?
No, I'm sorry. It was Jim. Commissioner, we need to get you on. You need to be
Thought it was
checking your
Neil.
stats. You need to
I
be.
thought it was Neil. Well, I think everybody has a unique strategy, and some people have spreadsheets that they've planned out already and they've sort of mapped out their picks. And it's really, really tricky to try to know the right moment to pull the trigger on a particular hero in this draft. And sometimes your bracket or your breakdown of lists just gets busted. It happens all the time. You're leaning into a couple of characters. You think these are going to be mine. Nobody's looking at these. And all of a sudden they go off the board and then you have to pivot and think again. So I always recommend, even though there's like a total of 12 picks, you should have about 16 or 18 that you're thinking about in your lineup because you might lose one of those 12 and need to go to somebody who's the next step down.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck with, say, a shaman's tears, for example. Certainly,
That's for sure. Nobody wants that.
we're looking at a rough spot there. So anyway, thank you again, Commissioner, for your time. We're about ready to get to the action. We got rookies this year. We got veterans. We have a guest of honor. We have a lot to come. Here we launch into the 2023 Wizards Superhero Fantasy Draft Extreme Edition. Greetings, geeks, and welcome to Wizards Superhero Fantasy Draft 2023 Extreme Edition. Yes, I'm Adam.
And I'm the always aloof Michael. How are you?
Yes, we're back for another year of imaginary comic book super team competition with a stacked roster of contenders competing for a prize pack comprised of Wizard magazines, 90s comics. Let me show you what we got going here. First off, you got to get your official Wizard sticker, okay? Holominium. If you don't have these, they are limited edition. Say it, Michael.
Limited edition.
Oh, yeah,
If you ever
baby.
watched QVC, that guy ruled. Don West, baby.
So here are some of the things we have. We have some Wizard Zero issues. So Thunderbolts, Avengers, okay. 9 Rings of the Wu-Tang, okay. How about the making of Our Man? All right, we got a Marvel Knights sketchbook coming at you if you're winning. We got a Tomb Raider half comic. We got The Darkness half comic, okay. So if those aren't in your long boxes yet.
Believe it or not, that particular Tomb Raider comic is worth $35.
Yeah, he was just in a store and he was like, "Hey, do you have this one yet?" I was like, "We got it, we got it."
Yeah,
so,
that one and the Sin City one were $35 each, ungraded. Just I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Now, as for Wizard magazines, first we're going to give you one that's a piece of history. So we have issue 10 here, the infamous Shaft and Cable cover. If you know about the history of this one, this was not authorized, but Liefeld decided to do his own thing as per usual. Now, on the other side of this, though, we're going to give you 3 issues, a 3-issue run of the issues that are coming up. So this is starting with issue 82, 83, and 84, so you can follow along at home. Of course, our patrons already have all that at their fingertips when the episodes drop, but whoever wins today, if you're not a patron yet, you'll be able to flip along as you listen. Now, how about some She action here? The first issue of She and the first trade, okay, with the infamous 6 fingers on there. If you guys know that story, if you count the sword holding fingers, there are 6 of them. Jimmy Palmiotti says that's how it was drawn. I just inked it. Also, speaking of runs of comics, we're dealing with the non-Marvel and DC characters mostly. So this is a run of Exo Manowar. Okay, so this is issues 14 to 19, one of my favorite series. So you'll be able to actually have a little continuity, read along. How about some crossovers? Generation X, Gen 13. Gen 13, Monkey Man and O'Brien, #1. JLA Wildcats, okay. And of course, you guys love your Michael Turner. Fathom #1, okay, is coming your way.
Fun fact about Fathom. I'm going to tell you a funny story real quick. Pete, who's one of our participants this evening, many, many, many years ago, wrote an idea for a comic book or a movie character named Fathom. And I said, that's a really cool thing. He had this whole elaborate story drawn out. And then that same year, I'm at New York Comic Con and I see a giant banner that says Fathom. And I said, Pete, I think somebody beat you to it.
Yeah, we were there together.
Yes,
right. But the crowning jewel of this prize pack, everybody, all right, what do we have here? We got to have at least one gimmick cover. It's a 90s comics prize pack. This is Ultra Force #1, the full hologram cover. Okay. So there you go.
That's gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah, so
this is again a stack of stuff that Adam's wife said, get rid of. So,
all right.
Michael. So last year we competed using heroes from the big 2 of Marvel and DC. And this time around, we went with 99% of the available characters from independent publishers of the 90s, like Image, Dark Horse, Valiant, Defiant, Chaos, and Event Comics, and much more. So we've got a whole slew of characters, most of which I probably don't even know their names. I'm just sort of like, oh yeah, I've heard this guy through the magazine. I wouldn't know what his power set is. Sure, Adam did all the math and said what their strengths and weaknesses are and so on and so forth. I'll just be doing the clickety clackety here.
That's right. So Michael, this is as much a test for you as it is a competition Great. For everybody here. But we are going to now meet our competitors, or our VIGs. That's very important geeks. No, Neil, we did not name it after you. I'm sorry. It just worked out that way. So we have some rookies with us, first year round. This is our second annual superhero fantasy draft. So first up, we have Jonathan Knight. Say hi.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're
Happy
glad to have.
happy Batman Dark Knight anniversary day.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
looking
yeah,
good.
that's
I'm
right.
loving that shirt.
Yep.
Also, he's been on the podcast several times, part of a past Zoom event as well. But Andrew, hello.
Hi. Glad to be here.
Yeah, of course. So we got to bring him back too. We love having our guests join us for a little bit of gaming. And so, been a little while, but William Bruce West, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
But speaking of welcome back, we have some returning competitors. We have some veterans of the superhero draft. They were here in 2022. They're back to claim a prize, maybe for the second time. We'll see. So one of them has a strategy. But first up, let's say hi to Lee. Lee, welcome back.
Hey, how's it going?
And Jim.
I have a very specific strategy this time around. We'll get into it.
All right. And Mr. Pete, how you doing?
He's muted. He's being my assistant here and filling in the names.
I've already fallen into fixing the many broken parts of this sheets, just like last year. So
I rule at this.
Yeah, we knew he had to be here for that. And finally, Neil, how you doing?
Hey, thanks so much for having me, guys. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, and
we
we
need
also
to play the Welcome Back Cotter theme for like the returning guests.
And we do have a guest of honor this time. We have an actual Wizard staffer, friend of the podcast, been on the Wizard Files, been on a main episode to share his stories. But Mr. Greg Orlando, hello.
Hello. You're too kind. And thank you.
This is excellent. I will say we have one little change in what's going on this year. This is something, maybe this will become part of the annual event, but we had one returning competitor who had a 90-minute drive home today from work and could not make the event. So he sent me his list and I will be playing for him. That is Chris Bailey. He was with us last year. So I will be playing on his behalf and we'll see if I can pull out the win. I don't know.
I will tell you from experience of doing fantasy football, and I've had to do, as a commissioner, do picks for other people at the same time as my own. It's very hard. So
that's why I had to back out. I'm only playing for him. I'm not in the game this year. So
okay. So Adam will be playing as Chris. So there you go. Right. So that's fine. Okay.
That's it. So but we are now going to turn things over to our game master, Michael Canetti. He's going to explain the rules very briefly. We do have a video already on YouTube. Our competitors know it. This is just for those of you who are watching who have no idea about how the fantasy draft works.
Okay, so in fantasy football, oftentimes you use what's called a snake draft. So whoever picks number one will then pick not again until like 20 or 21, and it kind of flips the cycle around. So if you're 10 in the first round, you go again at 11, and so on and so forth. And the way this game sort of works is each character has a point value assigned to them based on their power set and so on. The goal is to build your team and keep it at or below 100 points. If you exceed 100 points, you would be eliminated. So you can't just pick all 10s and go all the way through, because it won't. Actually, in this particular case, it would. It was only 10 10s, but hindsight, whatever. Anyway, and at the end of it, we will decide, and looking at the teams, who has the strongest hero team. Before we began recording, though, we had an interesting little conversation about how to make this something that we could make it as a competitive sort of event after the fact, like you would do in fantasy football. And in this particular time, we probably won't do it, but maybe for a future draft of some sort, we could do like a mini series sort of, social media sort of challenge and make an elimination sort of thing. I don't know. We'll play, or like a March Madness style, elimination game out of it. I don't know. But yeah, so that's basically how it's going to work. We're not going to do any times because the time is a little bit crazy and at times kind of unnecessary. So we're going to go through the list, and person will pick their players. We'll eliminate them from the side of available players to pick from, and we keep moving through as it goes. And it might go really fast, and it might go a little slow as we get toward the end of the numbers, so to speak. And It is a little discombobulated on how the order is because I just threw this in really, really quickly. So I apologize for that. So you might see some 2s and 3s in weird spots. That is on me. I strongly apologize.
Working on it.
Thank you, Secretary. I appreciate it. That's my life personal assistant. So we'll get rocking and rolling here. I'm going to share my screen and Greg, in 3, 2, 1, you're on the clock, sir.
Ultraviolence. Thy name is milk and cheese.
Ooh, okay. Starting off strong. And Greg, can we ask, were milk and cheese a favorite in the Wizard office?
Oh God, yes. We put them in picks all the time. I love Evan Dorkin.
Okay, cool. Got it. All right, who's next? I'm next. Okay. I have to go with Miracle Man. I just have to because I have to. So
wow, that's a big one.
Good pick. That's a good pick.
It's a great pick.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Andrew, you are next, sir.
I was gonna take Miracle Man. I am gonna go with Morpheus, Morpheus Dream. Yeah.
Okay, so Lee, you're next.
Well, now that I know we're just going with our favorites first, and I gotta go with Jack Knight Starman.
Ooh, good one.
I know he's pretty low down there. He's only worth, I think, like 4 points. Actually, I think he's worth like 900 and some points according to the current spreadsheet, but I'm assuming he's actually 4.
I'll find him.
That played right against my strategy right here.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep now.
William, you're next, sir.
I am gonna have to go with Witchblade.
Yeah, I just say my draft is in shambles already.
Those big names go fast.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So Neil, you're up now.
Well, I'm going to start with the baddest of the bad girls, Lady Death.
What was her point value?
She's a 10, I think.
She's an 8.
I think she was.
Oh, should I just put her as an 8? Okay, I probably wasn't accurate in that. What do you guys think?
She'd be 9 or 10, I think.
Yeah,
I'll give her a 10. I'll give her a 10.
Certainly the 10 in the minds of many a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
That is true. Okay, all right, so Pete, you're up.
All right, I dubbed thee Spawn.
I thought that was the #1 pick for this draft. Honestly, like if it's just for this draft, like the stream and all that, that guy represents this decade.
Spawn is a 9, really? You don't think he's worth a 10, Adam?
He could still kind of get hurt. He could heal, but I mean,
yeah. Right. Well, whatever. Okay, Adam, what's your first celebrity pick?
Okay, so this is for Chris. He has selected Hellboy. Oh, that mighty fist of Hellboy has come down to shake up somebody's list. How many of you are crossing him off?
The perpetual reboot character in superhero movies. All right, Jonathan, what do you got?
I'm breathing a huge sigh of relief. He's still on the board because I think like I can argue his value till I run out of breath. Jesse Custer, Preacher.
Ooh, Preacher.
Good pick.
Okay, Jim, you got 2. Get the river as well.
So I'm gonna state my team, and the 2 picks that I missed right out the gate are, I call it Plastic Force. I have to have them in action figures for me to be able to pick them. So Spawn and Jack Knight were in there. But we're gonna go the Tick and the Max.
Ooh,
that's a mighty duo right there.
Spoon.
My team name is going to be Plastic Force, and plastic will stand for powerful law and strategic tactics in combat.
Wow.
You need an aggressive acronym for these 90s characters.
You can tell I'm a rookie. I never even thought to name my team and come up with an acronym. That's
deep.
Got it.
That is deep.
This is why he won last year, guys.
Bonus
so
points right off
your
the
toes. I do just want to remind you all that we have Mad Dog on the list. Anybody? Mad Dog?
I've
I
seen
thought
it.
I
I've
thought
seen
it was
it.
Wild Dog. I was mightily
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, Mad Dog, for those who don't recall, he was associated with the sitcom Bob. We talked about it, starring Bob Newhart, where he was a comic book artist. It lasted 2 seasons, and Marvel produced a flip book. And one side, Evan Dorkin wrote The Adventures of Mad Dog, and the other side, I think, was Mark Evanier. I'm trying to remember, but it was kind of wild. If I was playing, he would be on my crew. Gotta have Mad Dog. Yeah, I'm wondering who's gonna really, when we get down to the end, who's gonna dare to pick some of these very obscure ones I dug up. Come on, there's some defiant characters that need some love. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. So now we go back to Jonathan. What's your next pick?
I'm gonna pull out the Witchblade counter and go Jackie Escada, the Darkness.
Okay. So Adam, for Chris's next pick, what do you got?
We have the one and only star of comics and video games, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter.
Ooh.
We'll see, Turok's top 10 continuing to be a dicey segment of the podcast.
It makes me constantly uncomfortable. Okay, Pete, what's your next pick?
I couldn't get Morpheus before, so I'm going to go with Death from Sandman.
Okay.
Speaking of death, does anybody know the correct pronunciation of the artist of Death, High Cost of Living, and Generation X? How do you say his last name?
I think it's Bacalo.
Is it Bacalo? Because I always say Bacalo on the.
Yeah, I think it's Bacalo, but I don't know for sure.
Nobody knows.
Okay, Neil, what's your next pick?
Well, my theme that I was hoping for is crashing down, so that's not going to be happening, looks like. So I will kind of switch gears and take things to the street and choose Shadowhawk.
Ooh.
Oh.
Breaking spines and
Wait, did I really put him at a 10?
Dimes.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, you
might have
did.
How did I put
overrated
him at a
Shadowhawk.
10?
You
He's not a
did.
10.
Because he's dead? He's a ghost? The first one, at least? I don't know. We might have to modify that one, Michael. You got to bring him down to like a 6 if you're okay with that deal.
I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, he's not a tough one.
Okay, William, what's your next pick?
Okay. First off, we should check Adam's phone because I'm sure he just got a Venmo from Shadowhawk for that complete
Raise his profile, Jim Valentino.
Yes, yes. A 10. Some of these 10s need to be debated. But anyway, my next pick is Vampirella.
You see, I would see Vampirella as a higher point value. All right.
Maybe next.
I don't know.
Okay, Lee, what's your next pick?
Well, since I indulged myself with Jack Knight to begin with, I'm going to go more in the spirit of this whole 90s extreme thing, and I'm going to go with Savage Dragon.
Ooh. That's one of the few characters that really, kind of figured out a way to live on a little bit past this, 90s situation. And still has a strong following.
So we have to ask this, though, because William recently posted about Savage Dragon fans, and he's just like, where are they? Like,
And all
who
two
is
of
keeping
them
this
came
book
out
alive?
to fight. So.
Yeah. So how do you classify a Savage Dragon fan? Like, where are they sharing their love other than at the comic store plunking down their dollars for their pull box?
I don't know. So, Andrew, what's your next pick?
I think I'm gonna rock Exo Manowar.
Oh, that's Adam's favorite.
I know, and I'm about to read the entire first series. So
Oh, great!
Yeah,
it's so good, man. Jim Shooter killed it at the beginning. There, it was great.
Okay, so I'm on the clock now. All right.
Michael's like, who do I recognize?
I kind of did do that for a second. I was like, oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with Adam's gonna think this is nuts, but I love his name. I'm going with Grendel.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Greg, you have 2 picks in a row now.
Hooray! Well, he likes fighting, and he was born in the continental United States. You know him, you love him, Fighting American. And the goggles, Radioactive Man.
Oh yeah, Radioactive Man. Now, Greg,
there goes another one from the list.
Oh man, Greg, how many Fighting American posters were in the Wizard offices?
Oh, too many. I mean, we were all we were fighting over them and hoarding them, and We would go to comic stores and rob them, commit armed robbery to get those fighting
Rob
Americans.
We'd rob them. I'm gonna go with my next pick to be Solar, Man of the Atom.
Oh, powerhouse.
I love that character. I really do.
But it's great. Right after Radioactive Man, Solar gets picked. They're basically the same.
Yes.
Up and at them.
My
I
eyes,
also
the
get
goggles do
Fallout Boy
nothing.
with that.
Andrew, you're next.
Let's go. Let's do Union.
Oh my gosh, Union. You gonna get Wildstar next?
Who knows?
I love it.
Union is one of those where I was just like, that ad was so prominent in Wizard, when it launched, and I was just like, he's got to be on the list. Like Union all day, every day.
I still think he's one of Jim Lee's best designs.
Okay, Lee, you're next.
I'm gonna go. I think Usagi Yojimbo.
Oh.
I had like 20 characters at the beginning of this thing that I was like, yeah, those are the guys I want, and they're like almost all gone. So I'm just thinking now I got to just pick the last few that I actually really want already.
William, you're next again.
This round, I have to do it. Caitlin Fairchild.
Oh man, you guys are killing Chris's list over here.
Oh, that's
he is
another
sad right now. 3 of his picks like in a row gone.
That's another really good one. Oof.
That's who Adam. You would have picked that one if you were playing, wouldn't you?
Oh, that would have been his first pick overall.
Gen 13 was on my list. Yeah, the whole crew. I had to get the whole team, even Burnout.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost didn't put him on the list because nobody cares about Burnout.
No one would have missed him.
I was like Burnout. He was my favorite one.
What?
Yeah.
We found him, folks. The search is over.
Neil, you're up now.
But are there any DD8 characters on here?
I know. I didn't add them. I my bias against them didn't allow me to put them on the list.
One glaring omission here is Backlash. Where's
Oh yeah.
I really should have put him in there. It's true.
So Spawn's already taken, so I will pick the next best character that has a cape and choose Nightwatch.
Oh, what a great pick. Incredible. The most underrated character on this entire list.
Makes me so happy that he actually was adopted and brought home Nightwatch. Yeah, aside from the character design, he does have some unique points to him. So,
okay, Pete, what's your next one?
I am going to go with Bloodshot.
Ooh.
Oh,
not the Vin Diesel version?
Absolutely the Vin Diesel version. Why not?
Man, why did that movie have to drop when it did?
Oh,
because
okay.
Any other time, there's a very good possibility it could have kickstarted that Valiant universe and we'd have the Exo Manowar film now, but no.
Yeah, it was a bad time. Adam, what's your next pick?
My next pick here, man, I really had to throw in all of Chris's alternates almost already, but we are going to grab Grifter while we can because that guy is so cool. Oh, look at William. I can't believe it.
Yeah,
we missed out on so many. So Grifter is ours.
Who do you want, Jonathan?
Angela, Spawn.
Okay. All right. I'm Jim.
Okay. I'm gonna go with figures that I used to have once upon a time, and now I'm gonna have to go and rebuy them on eBay because I'm running out of plastic here. We're gonna go with the gooey 90s version of Shazam first, and that's Prime.
Oh God, I hate Prime. I'm so glad somebody else picked. I hate that character so much. Oh, the worst.
I'm gonna make well, at least Adam's not picking this time around. We're gonna go with Madman.
Oh, that was my next pick. Oh, that was my next pick.
At least you went to a good home.
If Adam was playing, I was like, I'm just not. We're guests here. I'm not picking that character.
I was gonna pick it out of spite. Okay, Jonathan, you're next.
I'll go with the 2 frenemies that are now bitter enemies. Aztec, the Ultimate Man.
Oh man.
Who was on Wizards' list of biggest bonehead moves for 1997 that DC canceled that comic. So
such an underrated series.
That was so dope. So dope.
Adam, what's your next selection here?
All right. Well, we missed out on Caitlin Fairchild, but we need another J. Scott Campbell creation. So we're going with Abby Chase from Danger Girl.
Oh, that's another good one. Low powers, but good character. So, Pete, you're next.
I'm gonna go with The Mask.
Oh,
Oh,
that was my
I
next
really
pick.
thought that was going to go sooner, honestly.
yeah,
But
I was really thinking about it myself. I was really thinking about it.
And thank you all for refraining from doing any mask impersonations.
Oh, now you've started it. Now you've done it.
You've done it now. Somebody stop him.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, Neil, what do you got next?
Oh, I was totally into The Mask. Damn you. Now let's see. Well, I guess I'll need a powerhouse, so I will pick Pitt.
Oh, I like that one too. That was a good pick. That was a good
Incredibly expensive Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
If you try and hunt that
Yeah.
down.
the comic book legends, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
had the torso and just the torso, and I sold it for I think $67.
one. Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Okay, William, what's your next pick?
For this pick, I am going with Zealot.
I think Zealot should be higher, man. 5 just does not seem enough for Zealot.
She's a good 7.
She's a 7 for sure.
Okay, because like, is she the thing I didn't know? I don't have my Wildcats trading cards. She's good with a sword. She's a great fighter, but is she have like Amazon powers? Like, is there something a strength enhancement?
I mean, she's effectively immortal. She's Jim Lee's Wonder Woman essentially.
I was going to say she's the Wonder Woman.
Well, she is, but is she? Because Wonder Woman's like brought to life by the gods and all that. Like Zealot wasn't crafted out of clay.
True.
Alien though was
Not everybody was. You know.
Who is?
Okay, Lee, what's your next pick?
I'll take a powerhouse, so I'll just go with Supreme because I've heard the Alan Moore run was good. Everything
I've
before
read
it.
selected issues. I can confirm it's pretty fantastic.
Now, Supreme, I like better than Prime. I will say that. I will give.
Wow.
Very different character.
Very different.
Luckily.
Yes.
Although, yeah, I'm not surprised. I would have thought that Rob Liefeld would have gotten to it first before the Ultraverse, had that idea. Let's just take Captain Marvel. Let's just do a Captain Marvel. And then Eric Larson just does it. But he had a good twist on it. I like Eric Larson's twist.
Andrew, what's your next pick?
I think I need to bring some feminine energy to my team, so I'm gonna go with Promethea.
Ooh.
Okay.
No, I put her correctly at a 10, right? She's pretty powerful.
You got her at a 9.
You have a 9.
Oh, yeah. Is it a 9? Oh, okay. I thought I had her 10. But either way, I knew she was up there.
Okay. My next one, you guys are going to be shocked, but it's a really good one. Ninjak.
Oh,
that's a good
Joe Q.
Nice.
Everybody wanted
Nice.
Ninjak eventually.
Yeah, buddy. Take that one. It might have went a little early, but I don't
That's
care.
a reach. That's a reach.
That's a reach, but it's a big one.
Take them while you can.
Oh, God. Love Ninjak. Greg, you got 2 in a row now.
Let's go with the giant robot, a big guy in Rusty.
That's a comic?
That was a
That is
Frank
the
Miller
comic.
and it got a cartoon.
Well, not all Frank Miller comics are that great. So, listen.
Jeff Jarrow drew that, so that's like bomb.com.
The detail on those pages,
Yeah.
Michael, they're insane.
Yeah, you
All
can't-
right. I'll let you guys probably. It's fine. Listen, Adam chose the worst possible person in comic fandom to be his co-host. So there you go. Listen, I'm not.
We
perfect.
love you.
Okay, Greg, what's your next pick?
And you need a giant monkey on your team, so Monkey Man.
Brains and brawn.
So I go again, and I too need like a female character of some sort. You don't have barbed wire on here? You didn't put barbed wire.
We
on
do.
here?
She's
We do?
there.
Right,
Barb is there.
I'll take barbed wire then.
Yeah.
Pam Anderson barbed wire.
Obviously,
Yeah,
of
awesome.
course. That's the only way. Now, Andrew, you are up, sir.
All right, so I've been hoping nobody would take this for a while. One of my favorite books of the 90s, Ash.
Ooh, we talked about that one with Jimmy
Yeah,
Palmiotti. That was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that DreamWorks, one of their first animated features, was slated to be an Ash movie. That's insane.
It is
It's the 90s, man. It's the 90s.
Yeah.
All bets are off.
Instead, we got Road to El Dorado. Come
Okay,
on.
Lee, what's your next pick?
He's right above it. Let's go with Hitman, Tommy Monahan.
Ooh, I
good
like
choice.
that one. That's a very good pick.
I almost put our copy of the archives of Hitman #1 in the prize pack, but I was like, I liked it too much. It was so good. I
Give it to a bunch of strangers. This one's mine, guys. I don't like to share. Okay, William, your next pick.
My next pick, I'm going back to Wildcats, and I'm gonna go with Maul. I need my heavy, and I lost Big Guy and Rusty.
That was the only Wildcats action figure I bought was Maul for the heroes. And then I bought, he had to fight somebody, so I bought Hellspawn. But I was just like, Maul looks so cool. Never read the comic back then.
Okay, Neil, what's your next pick?
Well, I was not a fan of this art, but I am going to pick Hellshock.
Just based on the name, Neil, it's just the most 90s name.
Yep. He'll go well with Lady Death.
Oh. Planning a little romance. Maybe.
This is getting weird now, guys.
I can't ship Hellshock and Lady Death. Come on.
All right, fine. Okay,
Totally
Pete,
goes
your
together.
next pick.
All right, given this podcast, and I don't know how this is still on the board, Magnus Robot Fighter.
Oh, he's done it.
Oh, now he's off the board. All right, Adam, your next pick.
All right, our next pick, Michael, you're gonna hate me, but Chris chose the one and only, the Rocketeer.
Oh, that was my next pick.
Excellent.
I was looking at the list. I'm like, I gotta get him now because he's
Well played.
coming up on somebody's list.
That was my next one, man.
That was everybody's. That was everybody's.
Yeah.
next
This
pick.
is the shakeup right here.
Oh, that's the turn right there, guys. Oh boy.
I'm going wild here now.
Okay, Jonathan, what do you got?
All right, I need my intellectual powerhouse, so I'm gonna go Tom Strong.
Great pick.
Great pick.
More Alan Moore. Okay. For some reason, I always get Tom Strong, and then what was that guy with the weird name, the big hairy chest that was like, what is it? Flex
Dad?
Montallo? Was that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is also on the list, and only a 2. I know a lot about 90s comics, but I've never heard of Mr. Hero from Techno Comics.
Oh, that's a Neil Gaiman
That's going to be on my list, my personal quiet list.
It should have been Bo Jackson from Tecmo Super Bowl, is what it should have been. That guy was unbeatable.
Touchdown.
Okay, Jim, what's your next pick?
Oh, the Rocketeer really screwed my list up here.
It really blew up everything right there. Oh, it
right.
beats the whole thing.
Let's go. I understand that I should probably have some additional characters here that are more, mainstream, but I'm going all wackies here. I'm going Scud the Disposable Assassin.
Yeah.
And I'm following that up with Nexus.
Oh, nice.
I'm going just everybody that I can remember from an ad in a Wizard magazine. I
saw that picture somewhere. Yeah, I remember that. That's funny. Jonathan, your next pick, please, sir.
All right, this one is probably gonna hurt my team, but I need somebody to rally morale when things get going tough. So I'm gonna go for Phone Bone.
Oh, that was gonna be my next pick here. Oh, great.
I'm a librarian, and there's that series still circulates well.
Oh yeah, that book still gets people read it. Yes, I was thinking about that as like a late sleeper. So that's pretty good. Adam, what's your next pick?
Oh, our next pick is we need a lady who knows how to roam the West and ride the saddle. That's Lady Rawhide. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good pick too.
Rawhide.
Oh man, it's gonna be a lot of good sound bites on this one. Okay, who's next? Okay, Pete, you are next again.
I'm going to go with Bucky O'Hare.
Did you ever have the toys, Pete?
I did. Yeah, I had a few. Captain Bucky O'Hare.
Exactly. That was just so catchy. The commercial jingle and the theme song. Yeah, I was just like, wow. Still crazy to me. Larry Hama doing Bucky O'Hare.
And Michael Golden.
Yeah.
Okay, Neil, your next pick, sir.
So since Shadowhawk's going to be fighting at night, he might need some friends. So let's give him Nightman to team up with.
We read Nightman, right? At one point.
I think we read Shadow Man. I don't know. They're so
There's
similar.
so many mans. I don't know, but I think I read Nightman at some point. It's cool. Yeah,
It was a beautiful Plymouth Prowler that he drove around as his Batmobile.
Ooh, like the old Plymouth Prowler. That was a fun car. 5 minutes.
For 6 minutes. We'll give him an extra.
Okay, William, your next pick.
I am going with, because every team could benefit from a Native American Wolverine, I'm choosing Ripclaw.
Oh,
Ripclaw. Wasn't there some weird thing with him where originally he had an Italian last name in like the earliest Cyberforce stories and then it got changed?
Nobody read that book for the stories. Nobody knows that.
Only Adam would reference that somehow. Only Adam. Oh my goodness.
I feel like Wizard pointed that out at one time. That's the only reason I know that. They were like, why did that change?
Okay, Lee, what's your next pick?
I think I've actually read the comic she was in, unlike so much of this. I'm going to go with Grandma Ben because Bone's already gone. So
in issue 77, they actually had a report we didn't bring up, but somebody actually did a Grandma Ben race, like the Great Cow Race with somebody in a Grandma Ben costume. It was like at some festival back in the day. These black and white photos. Maybe it was issue 78. Maybe it's what we just recorded. But yeah, so I was just like, that's pretty wild.
Andrew, your next pick.
I feel like I need like a Superman analog, so I'm gonna pick Majestros, Mr. Majestic.
Can you explain everybody Mr. Majestic's deal?
Yeah, I mean, he was another of the Wildcats spin-offs who he was basically Superman and something happened. And I don't know if they ever told what the story was, but he permanently went into his version of the Fortress of Solitude. And they finally pried him out after like thousands of years.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's an interesting character. I mean, he's just Superman. I think for a while they actually brought him into the DCU.
Okay, so I'm up next, and I feel like no 90s extreme superhero list can't be without somebody with a name of like Blood or Death or something like that. Do we do Death Blow yet? Has he been taken?
Oh, you're taking Death Blow.
He's free.
You don't even know who he is.
Is he taken?
No, he's not.
Okay, I'm taking Death Blow. The Death Blow.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, Greg, you've got 2 in a row now.
Excellent. Let's take another Superman analog, Samaritan.
Oh.
And let's take Concrete.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
That is good.
I mean, he's not a fighter. He's just a thinker.
He's a big block of concrete. Who can go wrong with a big block of concrete on your team?
Next year, you pick Bad Rock.
Ooh, oh yeah, nobody's picked Bad Rock yet. We got a Liefeld bias going on here. I feel like I think there was only one
you didn't put Shaft on the list.
Everybody loves Shaft.
Guy shoots bow and arrows with no string. I mean, the guy.
How does that work?
That's not why he got that name.
So I too, even though I already have Miracle Man and Solar, I'm kind of thinking that I want Icon from Milestone.
Wow.
I love
you're
that.
not supposed to win this.
I'm gonna win this thing, and I will pick who gets all that garbage you're trying to get rid of.
Go for the W. I mean, let's not fight it here.
This is a serious team here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Okay, so Andrew, you are next.
I think I'm gonna pick Mark Farley.
Wow, Creed.
Yeah, I was into that for like a second. I do think 2 is very low for him, but that's okay.
Like, this is what I didn't understand, because I read like 3 or 4 Creed comics, and from what I recall, he just goes into a dream world He's like in a fantasy world, right?
Yeah, but he's like the god of that fantasy world.
Yeah, so but all these characters are in the real world.
Right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Lee, what's your next pick?
To go along with my Savage Dragon pick, I'm going to go with Super Patriot.
Oh, that was the other one I was thinking about. I was really thinking about Super Patriot. That's a good one. Okay, William, your next pick.
Okay, I had to shuffle some stuff around because I figured everybody would forget about Milestone, and then Michael had to go and pick Icon. So to secure this pick, I'm going with Hardware because Black Tony Stark, it works.
I actually preferred Hardware to Icon when I was reading Milestone. He's just cool.
He's cool.
Chip on his shoulder.
Neil, next pick.
Based on the name alone, I am gonna choose Helena.
She had the first nude variant comic book cover.
Yeah.
Oh, hey now.
Good to know.
You're gonna find that one in somebody's fort in the backyard somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody's doing some deep Googling right now. Where do I find that? Okay, Pete, what's your next pick?
I'm going to grab Static.
Ooh, I wanted that one too.
Milestone is good.
So Adam/Chris, what do you got?
All right. He's only got 2 of his original list characters and alternates left. So we got to go with from Comics Greatest World, Ghost. Oh, that's a pretty cool book. Well, Adam Hughes was
that was the next one. Another ever present ad throughout.
Okay, Jonathan, your next pick.
I feel like I need a 10. I feel I need something to bump up my stats. So I'm going to go with the only one I know that's left, Dawn.
There are some amazing covers of Dawn, like ridiculous, and they go for big money on eBay now. It's crazy.
Says the man who loves Zetascope. Is it any surprise?
They have some great covers. What can I say? Listen, I read it for the articles, guys.
These are great. These are great covers. I hide them under my mattress.
Gotta have a lot of places to hide stuff, guys. Listen.
It's not that I don't want anyone to see them, it's that I don't want the sunlight to fade them.
Yes. And also, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
If you just really like the cover, then if you get them slabbed, then they'll do just fine under a mattress.
That's true. Yes, that's true. Okay. Jim, you've got 2 in a row.
I'm dwelling on how weird I want to get. All right, pick number 1 because, well, there's an actor strike going on, and he's probably looking for work, and he's got a great ponytail, and I need a leader for my team. I'm going to go with Hardcase.
Wow.
You got a sleeper 9 here. You got to throw him on the squad.
He's a powerhouse. I mean, he was the Ultraverse Superman, basically, right?
And then we're gonna follow that up. I'm gonna go with, since somehow there's a Netflix show of her that I've never seen, but enough people like it so much that it got brought back to life. But I remember the action figure very well. Probably the worst plastic ever on an action figure. Warrior Nun Ariella.
There's a Netflix series?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Anime?
Yes.
Or is it live action?
And it had such a wild following on Netflix. Even though they canceled it, they renewed it because the fans went crazy about getting canceled.
No idea.
That's how singular we've gotten in our indulgences. Is that we got the 6 people that like Warrior Nun brought it back to life.
Yes, seriously. Okay, Jonathan, your next pick.
Okay, I feel like my list is missing the zany, so we'll go with Flaming Carrot.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Great pick.
No better exclamation. You know, people like Spoon from The Tick. I like Ut.
I forget which company made an action figure of Flaming Carrot.
Wow.
I feel like you go into battle and you see a giant carrot head on fire. Like that's going to throw some other people off.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, what is your next pick?
All right, my next pick, Chris's last original pick here, is from Gen 13. He wanted Sarah Rainmaker. We got some weather powers on our side.
Okay, Pete, your next pick.
Evil Ernie, please.
That's solid.
Solid,
Yeah, that's a
solid
good one.
choice.
The Megadeth and all.
Yep.
Hey, Neil, your next pick.
Let's go ahead and jump into the future and get some help taking out the trash, and we will choose Ravage.
That's
there
that
we
was
go.
my next one. I was going after that because I knew Adam would want it. I was like, oh, that was it. That was it.
Once he turned into a beast, it was over for me for that series.
It got weird. Yeah.
It got weird. It got weird. Okay, yes. Oh man, that ripped right out of my heart right there. I wanted that so bad. I'm like, oh, it's gonna hang on. It's gonna hang on. No one's gonna think of this guy. Come on. Okay, William, what's your next pick?
Before I say who it is, I have to argue the point value. I know Adam put it at a 4, but this person is a minimum 6, and I would actually say a 9, but I'm being conservative. I am going. This is my like wild card powerhouse, and that's Dinah Simmons.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I have been thinking
Absolutely.
about that this whole time because when I made the list, I hadn't read the comics. I just read the comics and I'm like, oh, she's a 10. She could destroy
Yeah.
everybody. That's why she's a
Yes.
threat to the planet. I
All
was
right,
like,
so I'll upgrade her to a 10.
yeah, she's intense.
That's fine. I have veto powers. That's what the commissioner can do. There you go. Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, Lee, your next pick.
Well, to keep it extreme, I'm gonna go Warblade.
Ponytails and pointy fingers.
Yep.
Did he ever get an updated look? That's what I don't know. Like in modern day,
Why? He doesn't need one. It's too good.
His look is timeless.
Why? Timeless.
He got a slightly tweaked version in volume 2.
okay.
Maybe
I
give
thought it was a
couple
little bit
punches.
better.
Does that mean he wore a trench coat? Because that's what Jim did.
Yeah.
Okay, Andrew, your next pick.
Oh boy. I want. You know what? I'm gonna do Dane from Wetworks.
Okay.
Little golden symbiote action there.
Oh, we need some more Wetworks characters on here.
I was gonna put more, but I was kind of like, you have one, you have them all. I mean, ultimately, like you tell me how different they are. Like you get Pilgrim or whoever, it's just like they're all people with gold skin and guns,
Oh, translucent blue action figure.
Yeah, Grail got a little weirder, and
That's a good point. There was that evolution there.
Mother One had weird cybernetic stuff.
I'm going to take Profit.
Oh, no one picked. Oh man,
There we go. So I am taking Profit. Okay, Greg, you have 2 in a row now.
Let's take the pneumatic man, Mr. Hero.
Yay! I mean, I would have loved to have him, but I'm glad somebody recognized his
Tough
awesome.
luck on. And let's go with a bad girl, Dark Child.
Peg.
Man, is there any character that was so hyped in the magazine that is just completely forgotten? Like,
Yeah.
right in this period, this 97, 98, Dark Child is like the biggest thing they're pushing. And I'm sure by the end of 98, we're going to hear nothing about Dark Child.
Well, again, friend of Wizard, and we
Randy Queen was a part
we we
Celebrate
labored
him.
mightily on that, and
Also, Child, CHYLDE. Genius.
My next pick, I am going to go with a character that we're giving away some books for. I'm going to take She. No one cares. Crickets. Someone's like, it's She. Who
All
cares?
yours.
Yeah, fine. Take her and get rid of her. Here, get her off the list. Good. That's my weak pick, I guess. That's the one that I didn't get oohs and ahs for. Okay, cool. Andrew, your next pick.
let's do Glory. Rob Liefeld's Wonder Woman.
How many analogs can you have?
All of them. You can
Apparently,
have all,
all the analogs, really. Please.
Put a successful character in a blender and look for a synonym for their name.
Okay, Lee, your next pick.
Well, because I couldn't get Hellboy and I need some genius level intellect, I'm going to go with Abe Sapien.
Very nice. Now, do you want him voiced by David Hyde Pierce or by or by Doug himself?
I'll go with Doug, I think.
Okay. Where they sound identical. That's
Yeah,
such a
right.
weird choice by the studio. It's just like, why'd you do that?
William, your next pick.
I need some magic on my team, so I'm gonna go with great value Harry Potter and throw in Timothy Hunter.
Talk about quarter bid books, man. I see a lot of books of magic everywhere I go.
Okay. Neil, your next pick.
Let's keep it with some more bad girls. We'll choose Fatal.
Cool. Anybody read Fatal?
Nope.
No.
It's pretty good. Well, it's not good.
That
It's
was
a
Broadway
cool
Comics,
premise.
right?
It's not good.
It's not
You're
good.
really You're really
exists.
selling it.
It exists
What a
in
ringing
publishing.
endorsement.
It hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the idea behind it was cool.
Have you read it? It's not good, but you know.
I got
Broadway
it for
Comics-
free at a convention. They're just like, we got this box of free comics, and it was every issue of Fatal. I was like, okay.
Is Broadway
Right.
Comics, is that Jim Shooter's company after Defiant, which was after Valiant?
That was his last chance.
Oh,
Broadway,
man.
and then he's
Yeah,
out.
it was Broadway
I'm done.
Comics.
Wow.
Bummer, dude.
Okay, Pete, your next pick.
I am going to go with Jack Boniface, Shadow Man.
Oh. Somebody had to pick him eventually.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That Aerosmith comic, man, is legendary. Okay, Adam, what's your next thought?
I need a powerhouse. I really haven't gone like for a major powerhouse other than Hellboy at the beginning. So I need Eric Larson's Mighty Man. I love Mighty Man's concept. You know, it's Captain Marvel, but what if it's just a gender swap instead of an age swap? That's pretty cool. So you have a nurse who turns into a male superhero, a female nurse, male superhero. It's awesome. I love it.
Pick Mantra next.
Yeah.
Jonathan, your next pick.
Oh boy. We'll go mainstream. Let's do Hulk 2099.
Oh, that I wanted that one too. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
me too.
Jim, you got 2 in a row now.
I actually, my entire strategy was thrown for a loop. But now I think I can bring it all back together. If you remember Gen 13 A, B, and C, I'm going to pick Grunge because he could bring my whole squad together. They're all in his brain in that imaginary world. So we're going to go with Grunge.
Ooh,
Oh, good callback
Okay.
there.
it's a good one.
And
Okay, and your next one.
crap in a basket. Too much coffee, man. What the hell?
Oh, that was gonna be my kicker at the end. Like that was gonna be like when I grabbed last.
Point totals are out the window. I'm just going for laughs.
Okay, Jonathan, your next pick.
I can see the bottom of the barrel, and I don't know who I want to take.
This is where
I
it gets
know.
hard. You're like, I don't know who to take at this point. You're like,
Yeah. I'm looking through people's sleeper picks and seeing who to grab. Is Badrock still around? Anybody take him? I don't have a Rob Liefeld
If he's
character. All right, give me Badrock. I don't have a Liefeld character yet. though.
he's there. Yep. Okay, Adam, your next pick.
Okay, so again, Chris, you know, I ran out of your picks. I have to go with my gut here. And I wanted to go to the future. So many of them have been taken from me. There's only one left, and that is Ghost Rider 2099.
Oh, that was
Really cool. And his issues are like the most expensive 2099 ones, like those later ones. They're hard to come by. So
You didn't put Punisher
those
2099 on there? Like, what's the deal?
Those first 3 Ghost Rider 29 are amazing comics, man. They're really cool.
yeah, Chris Bachalo, how do you say it? Bacalo. Where were we going to go with the? You know, gets pulled over to Generation X. We lose him on there, but still cool.
Really cool artwork, yeah.
Okay, Pete, your next pick.
All right. I know this is like way down at the bottom there, but I really enjoyed him in the Doom Patrol show, and I don't know him otherwise, but Flex Mentallo.
Oh,
Good
nice.
choice.
Neil, your next pick.
Let's get a little creepy, and I'm gonna choose Ruin.
Ooh,
Ooh.
putting the squeeze on me.
I was looking at that one too. I was like, ooh, that one's still out there. Interesting.
Yeah,
Barry
not
Windsor
not a lot of
Smith.
Barry Windsor Smith on this list.
Yeah.
So
Exo Manowar though, that's Barry
Yeah.
Windsor
Yep.
Smith.
BWS.
Okay. All right, William, your next pick, sir.
Well, every team needs a badass soldier, and it also helps if it's a woman and they're black for representation. So I'm going with Martha Washington.
Ooh.
There you go.
So I don't know if you know this, but we just watched Mystery Men as part of 90s Super Cinema. And in the Invisible Kids room, it's all covered in Dark Horse posters and paraphernalia. And there's a big Martha Washington poster on there. I was just like, that's cool. And his hair kind of matches her hair.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had the bleach blonde hair, and it was like that short cut. So pretty close.
It's a great series with a terrible ending.
Was it
Kind of
really?
like anything Brian K. Vaughan writes.
Oh, wow.
Shots fired.
Who else is gonna block us on Twitter now?
Just blame me. Campbell already hates me.
Ex Machina. Where do we go wrong there?
Oh, the last panel. It's great till the very last panel.
Lee, your next pick.
Well, I got some magic, and I'll just take Fate. Was he taken yet?
No.
Oh, that was
Fate,
my
no.
next pick. Yeah, Fate, baby.
You got to melt down that helmet into little daggers.
That guy, man. I could have thrown in a whole run of Fate as the prize pack, but I figured nobody would take it. They'd reject it.
They would actively try to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Lee's going for some 0 hour power here. He's got Starman and Fate representing.
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, your next pick.
I'm gonna go with the Stormwatch equivalent of Maul. I'm gonna pick Fuji.
Oh,
very nice.
I am up next, huh? Oof.
Michael, there's somebody that's been waiting on that list for you. He's crying a little bit. He's crying some.
Oh, Shaman's Tears. Are you crazy? Are you insane? Are you insane?
That's your brand now, Michael. Come on.
No way. Oh, Shaman's Tears. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, no way. I am going to go with the Confessor from Astro City.
Oh. Given your love of Batman, that's very appropriate, and I don't even think you knew that. Or did
no,
you?
I do know Astro City. That's why I picked it. There you go. So
cool.
just give me a break. Listen.
I've never heard you mention Astro City on the show.
But all the Alex Ross covers, you know my love of Alex Ross. So
good point.
I know enough to get by. It doesn't be dangerous. So there you go. Okay. All right. Greg, you got 2 in a row.
You stole my pick, by the way. I was going to take the Confessor. But...
You're welcome.
I will take Jack in the Box from Astro City.
Another great pick.
Great look for that character.
Only a 4. I mean, just on costume alone, you got to give him a 7.
Yeah, he's like a Spider-Man type character.
But he doesn't have super strength. That was my issue. He's got gadgets.
Okay.
But he's just an acrobat, if you want to look at any.
So he's Dick Grayson. Okay, next one.
And Winged Victory. Winged Victory.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, so I'm up again. This is tough. I'm between 2 here. And I will give it a dealer's choice option here. I'm thinking between Free Fall and Burnout.
I mean, you know where I stand. But then you know where Andrew stands. So
that's true.
You decide one for the other.
I'm worried about my point total and I haven't looked, so I'm gonna go with Free Fall.
All right.
All righty. Andrew, your next pick.
I'll take Burnout. No, I'm just joking. I missed out on Monkey Man, so I'm gonna pick his partner, Ann O'Brien. Gotta get some Art Adams representation up in here.
Why is her point total an 8?
because she's badass.
Yeah, well, she's super tough. Like she's got
really
like
tough
super
and-
enhanced strength. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like Caitlin Fairchild, kind of.
Yeah. That's why they did that crossover. Yeah.
Wow. All right. That's one that escaped me.
Lee, your next pick.
This is getting tough.
Yeah.
Let's go speedster. I'll go with velocity.
Cool.
Good pick.
Low power point though. Very low.
She's little. She's little,
Yeah,
but
she
she's
can't do
fast.
much.
Yeah.
She got some spunk.
Got some spunk. Oh boy. Okay, William.
I am going with Zephyr/Faith.
Oh.
Ah, that
That's
was
my
my
next
next
one.
pick. Yeah. I have her Funko Pop. That's how much I like Faith.
You gotta have faith.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. You've got billions of Funko Pops of all sorts of
But
things.
I got that one as an exclusive at New York Comic Con at the table, and it's one of my favorites to this date. And listen, if anybody wants Funkos, I got a lot that I'm looking to sell. So if you're interested, let me know. I'm trying to
Just
unload.
beware if Michael walks up to you with the trench coat and starts opening it. You don't know what's in there.
Instead of fake Rolexes, he has Funko Pops.
Yes, the best.
It's a very
Yeah,
lumpy coat.
Neil, your next pick.
Oh, I was thinking Jack in the Box, but since he's gone, let's go with Zen the Intergalactic Ninja.
Ooh.
Oh, that was going to be my last pick.
Yeah, mine too.
I love that She-Bat is still on there because like that book was so bad, no one wanted it.
Hey, I will not allow you to impugn Neil Adams in this house.
Well, it was crazy that like how we were strung along just in real time thinking, oh, there's going to be a Valeria the She-Bat Spawn crossover.
Right.
Never happened.
Never happened.
No, not so much.
Pete, your next pick.
I am going to go with Evangeline.
Ooh.
There we go. There's some Liefeld.
Yeah. Eventually, maybe the only character created because they already had the model first.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I think the other one is it Nightcat? What's her name? The one who was the Marvel Comics rock star, pop star. Remember?
Not Dazzler.
No, this was like they had a real woman they hired who was a singer, and they wrote songs for her, and then they created a comic, and she appeared on talk shows like.
Oh, we talked about this in the podcast.
Nightcat, I'm pretty sure.
Something stupid. Yeah. Adam, your next pick.
Well, my next pick, we've had him on the podcast. He's keeping the character alive. We need a gun-toting broad. We need Painkiller Jane.
Oh, that's a good one. A gun-toting broad, he says.
I'm gonna get canceled for that, but
she'd call herself a broad, probably.
That's how I feel. Read the comic. I'm like, I'm pretty sure she refers to herself as a broad.
Jonathan, your next pick.
I hope he's still there. I may have missed him somewhere along the way, though. But is Mage still available?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
I'd
so.
like to take Mage.
Good pick.
Matt Wagner doing some good stuff.
How was it spelled? M-A-G-E, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think I put him in by his name, Kevin.
Kevin, yeah.
Matchstick. That's not a very heroic name, but
I'm Kevin. I'm here to save the day. Okay. Jim, you've got two in a row.
Oh, I'm gonna go on art style alone. I'm going Kabuki.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize Kabuki was even on there.
That's
Neither
incredible.
did the fans.
did he win an award though? I'm pretty sure he got an Eisner Award at some point. So
a guy came back around, created Echo. He's got some points on that. It's probably somewhere. So
And your next one?
that's my last.
This is your last pick. This is it.
Oh, I gotta end really weak. really going out on a low note here. Spider Jerusalem. I'm
Power
going
of the press.
I'm going most 90s obscure. I'm changing my team name to Obscure Force, not classic. You could get the glasses as a DC Direct item, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Jonathan, your final pick.
So I have to pick this character because she's the only representation from the the line that had me more hyped than anything else and ended up being the biggest, I think, disappointment or biggest failure of the 90s. Arwen from CrossGen.
All right. Yeah,
CrossGen
I
had
know that
so
wasn't
much hype.
technically 90s, right? That was like right on the
Right
cusp.
on the cut. Was it 2000?
I think it might have been 99. Maybe.
Was it? Okay.
CrossGen had so much hype with all
Oh.
that financial backing or whatever. They were paying so
Yeah.
much money, and then they just crashed and burned
Mark
epically.
Alessi, rest in peace.
Okay, Adam, your final pick.
All right, my final pick. I feel like I've been shilling for him. I've been trying to promote him, but nobody's picking him. He's a little guy I'm gonna bring home from the pound. I'm talking about Marvel Comics Mad Dog.
Nice.
Oh, Mad Dog.
That makes my next choice easier.
Adam, king of the transitions. He really likes to
Wow.
lean into a background story.
Real big Newhart fan.
That's right. Definitely.
Pete, your final pick, sir.
I'm gonna go with the Goon.
Not Bob the Goon, Michael.
Nope.
I'm aware, and not the hockey movie with what's his face from American Pie.
I'm building a 1989 like 1/12 scale Batcave and all character replica to go with my Batmobile from McFarlane Toys.
You got the Batmobile? I've tried 3 times and missed out 3 times.
If you check out my YouTube, I hit 10,000 views somehow. I don't even know how, but I customized it. I put lights in it and everything, and it's sick.
Did you do the spray to give it the matte finish?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome. See, these are the things that I like, guys. Okay, Neil, your final pick.
Let's stick with the bad girls, and I'm going to go with Voodoo.
So I think all the Wildcats were picked with that then, right?
Think so.
I don't think we have any Wildcats left.
Does that mean you got a cue music cue for the soundtrack to the
Wildcats? The Wildcats! Somebody do the
gets good gets here.
I don't break out his guitar and just kind of jam out on it.
That's right.
William, your final pick.
Okay, before I tell you, like when this is over, will we like go over our team and like explain? Okay.
Yeah, you got a vamp.
Okay, awesome. I kind of hate this character, but a dear friend of mine loves him in this series, and he actually wrote the spin-off series for this character, and that is Lucifer from Poison Elves.
Ooh.
Okay, Lee, your final pick.
Okay, so this is basically the kicker if we were in football. So I can go with whatever. And I'm assuming Supreme's going to be doing a lot of work for my team. So I'm going to go with another book I actually read. And I'm going to go with Strangers in Paradise, Francine and Kachu.
Nice.
Oh, that gives you a character round out of. You actually got 13 characters now.
Yeah, 2 for 1 there.
2 for 1 special.
All right, Andrew, your final pick.
Okay. It's very tempting to go with Burnout.
How could you not?
I'm not, because I'm going to go with Tyrant, because I just think it's weird to have an animal on my team. So let's go Tyrant. The T-Rex.
That was like the comic book artist's comic. Like they all love what Steve Bissette was doing. And you're just like, really? Just a dinosaur's life? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I will take Burnout then. So I got both. Look at that. Both of the bottom of the barrels that I thought about, I ended up getting. Look at that. Who would have thunk it? That was easy.
And then you can have J. Scott Campbell draw you up a new cover.
Yeah.
For your Zenoscope book. There you go.
He has done in the past, not a long time, but he's done like 1 or 2. They all kind of look like Mary Jane Watson after a while. So
he draws that one girl and just changes the hair.
That's it. That's it.
Dig in that hole, Will.
That's why he hates me.
Okay, Greg, for the final pick of the draft, what do you got?
I guess we're down to characters I have no idea who they are.
That's saying something.
Cyblade.
Ooh, okay.
I think if a Wizard alum doesn't know who these characters are, that's really saying something.
So, if we take a minute, look through these teams, and write in the chat the team you think is the best by the person's name.
But wait, I have to explain my team so you know how awesome it is.
Okay.
Otherwise, it just looks like a bunch of losers.
Can I
Yeah,
get
if
a,
anybody wants to make their case, we'll
I was
allow
gonna
Sure.
say,
them to.
yeah, can we go through that? But
Sure.
you
So
know,
Greg, let's go with Greg first. We'll go down the list. What is the idea behind this team that you have here?
I picked a bunch of characters who I really liked and I recognized.
So my team, I would say at least the first 10 rounds are characters that I actually knew and I've at least read one comic for. Miracle Man is one of my favorites of all time, as most of you know. I do love Solar, Man of the Atom. I think it's just an interesting character. Um, I like the kind of combination of intergalactic space-based characters as well as, grounded brawler-esque kind of characters in a way to kind of balance each other out, if you will.
Will, do you want to go?
Sure. Okay, so going into this, I was trying to create a team book that I would actually read, that like I would be excited about. And so what I consider this, my comic is called Sinners and Saints, but they're an anti-team. So that's not what they call themselves. That's just the title of the comic. They found themselves together through circumstance, but they aren't the kind of people that are going to throw a label on what they have, And they're all, even though there's like magic-based people, warriors, that sort of thing, it's actually a pretty street-level book. In my mind, it would be written by either Gail Simone or Kelly Thompson. And it's one of those books that's kind of like about sisterhood. If you notice, the men are just kind of like there. I based it kind of on the Ed Bennis, Gail Simone run of Birds of Prey near the middle when they started adding like Savant and like other male characters, so it wasn't just like a female team. So like that kind of inspired this. But yeah, it would really be like personality clashes. I consider like Witchblade and Vampirella kind of like the team leads, but they have like a Harley and Ivy relationship more so than like butting heads necessarily. So yeah, that's kind of what guided me through this. And even though we had to like change things up, like people taking other like things on everybody's list, I was still able to remain true to like the core thing I went in with. Like I only had to swap in like 4 people and it made the concept better in my head.
Neil, what's the idea behind your team?
I definitely originally wanted to go for a more dark and deadly team. So I'm glad I was able to get Lady Death and Shadowhawk and Nightwatch and then Hellshock. And I also want a couple of those street level fighters. So that we got some Ravage and some Voodoo and Fatale. So definitely a nice little mixture of the male and female taking it to the streets with some supernatural side to them.
Andrew, what about your team?
Most of them were just books that I read back then. It's real Wildstorm heavy because that's what I was reading a ton of back then. But like, man, Ash was one that I just had my eye on from the very beginning. I was like, I gotta get Ash. So that was the only one I was really like, I gotta get it. So yeah,
I feel like your list is strong on the what would Adam take, and I could take before him.
Oh no, I was not trying to block Adam at all.
Okay, Pete, what about your team?
Characters that I like, followed by characters that I know, followed by characters that I Googled real fast.
Okay, Lee, what about your team?
Yeah, pretty much everything Pete just said. I mean, the vast majority of these, though, I had some opinion about. I've read something of them, so I felt that was like where I was trying to make all the decisions in the end, just things I actually legitimately liked.
Chris, Adam.
I am part Chris, I am part Adam this time around, this list. I hope I did right by him and all the people I had to pick at the end who were some of my favorites that I felt like were strong. But I've decided to call this team Chris's Crisis Commandos. And I think that you can count on them. When the chips are down, Hellboy's going to be there. He's going to lead the team. He's going to guide them. And yeah, just remember, my team has the Rocketeer and no one else's does.
Fair enough. I feel like I can see your team in like some city like Phoenix, Arizona as their headquarters.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're a desert crew.
Yes. Jonathan, your team.
So I was, had a bunch of different ideas as I went through this draft. So my first idea was I had a whole list of characters that I wanted. Those were all gone just about, but the only one I really wanted to make sure I got was Jesse Custer. I mean, the word of God. The guy went toe to toe with God himself and walked away. So I felt like he was a strong number one to get. And so I was really happy to land him in the first spot. Um, and then it became characters I just liked. And then it became just characters books that I've loved over the years. And then at the end, it was just who's left. So
That's usually how it goes. Where's the kicker? I don't know. Whoever's left. And Jim, what about your team? The Tick and the Max and Prime are pretty strong. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty legit.
Look, I got five people on my squad that have or have a animated show or series or movie that is in the can somewhere, whether it be on TV or if YouTube. If you want to watch that Gen 13 movie, it exists. It didn't work out by my initial plan, but in the end, this is Gen 13 issue 13D, the lost issue, where Grunge, he met the Max was in there, Madman was in there. So he just keeps meeting more and more characters. And then lo and behold, they all create the Obscure Force.
Ooh, I like it. I dig it.
And I'll come up with a new acronym later. So
okay. So let's take a minute and we can type the name of the team you think has the strongest team and the most interesting and go for it.
Just think in your mind, what's going to be the lowest shipping cost for Adam to send this out?
Pete, you're winning right now. So
look at that.
Donnie Spawn was the number one pick.
Yeah,
it's I consider these like late votes for last year because I thought I had a really, really strong team, and I think there wasn't a single vote. And I was like, damn.
Well, what's funny is you didn't even have to sell it. That's what I'm saying. Like, really, everybody's just looking at the team. So for the people who voted for Pete, I'm just very curious what was putting you in that direction.
Spawn, Death, Mask, Evil Ernie.
Yeah. The Mask is a good get too. That was a good pick.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised by that.
I don't see any votes on here for Andrew, but Andrew was my number two actually. Like I was really going back and forth between Pete and Andrew. I like the Dream Exo Man of War. Like Promethea is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just want to give Andrew
I could see like
plug.
Cool stories with Dream and Promethea teaming up.
Oh yeah.
So
what I think works for Pete though is like anyone on your team could get the Mask at some point.
Could you imagine?
Wow, that's a banger.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Oh man. Just Spawn putting on the mask and just like
where's that crossover? Why haven't they done that yet?
Yeah.
Yes, the Evangeline model could get the Mask in real life.
So we calling it?
Are we well, there's still 2 votes out there. So
we're still waiting. Okay.
I voted for Adam and Chris because of the Rocketeer.
See, I knew it would work on somebody.
Honestly, no, there was actually some really good stuff on that team. I'm a grifter person as well, but
but then Adam's wife would be like, "You kept all this crap anyway."
Yeah.
I would be going to Chris if we wanted to go to
Go
Chris.
check out the 90s superhero cinema episode for the Rocketeer. That's all I can say.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of fun with that one.
Conversation.
Okay, 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pete, you are the winner. Officially.
Amazing.
While you were
Thank you
doing
all.
all the math and fixing my spreadsheet, you
bonus points.
Well done.
still won.
Really earned it.
For those who didn't come out the winners this time, there's always next year. And I think we're going to have, some nice twists on the format and the formula next year. We got some nice suggestions.
I'm thinking about doing a March Madness.
What about and like bear with me here? Instead of characters, what about creators next year?
Ooh. We build a team of artists and writers and stuff like that.
Or if we did like the category thing we talked about, like where you have like a team leader, you have all that, but then artist. Like, you know, like
artist and writer
artist,
for that team.
tip it over. Yeah.
Oh, so we'd have to be picking head coaches now too. Great.
Yeah, essentially. Writer,
So how
artist.
so how many people want feet on their team? Pick
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoy like chatting with everybody, and you know, the jokes alone are hilarious, and it's just so fun to like listen and chat. And you
Geeks
know,
United.
we thank you guys for supporting our podcast and you know, being a part of the community and all that nerdy geeky stuff. But you know, we really enjoy it, and you know, Adam and I, you know, love doing this stuff, and you know, we thank you all for supporting us a lot for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you
so-
guys for having us. This was
thank
a ton of fun. I would now have revisited. I would have even known about some of these characters if I hadn't done this tonight. So thank you. It was
Get
a
those
ton of
corner
fun.
bids. Yeah, do your
Yeah.
research. Go
Yeah,
find
this was
them.
an impressive list.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. 100% nothing. Keep your
books bagged and
boarded.
Good enough.
All right. Well, certainly an adventurous time in fantasy sports this time around. We're back with Commissioner Michael Canetti as we wrap up and get our thoughts on just what transpired here. What surprised you this year, Commissioner?
I gotta say, that sleeper sneak attack win by Pete was a shocker. I really didn't think he was going to pull that out, mostly because he spent the entire draft fixing my spreadsheet. So how he was able to multitask and fix the spreadsheet while also pull out the win and get some real great picks really blew me away. I think everybody was surprised by the win. It came out unbelievable. I was shocked.
Absolutely, definitely worth it. 100%. We've checked all the stats, we've checked all the votes, and everything there was on the level. So congratulations to Pete Labrazzi, a fantastic competitor. But the other thing that you mentioned there, Commissioner, what happened with the spreadsheet? What were we doing here? It seemed like there was a little bit of confusion up top, and people were a little out of sorts. They're saying, "Hey, we showed up to play fantasy sports, not to watch a repair of a spreadsheet."
Well, let's put it this way. I was never a math major.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me ask you this: your prediction that the Rocketeer might be the one that would really be, swoop in and kind of secure the win for somebody there, did not come true. It seemed like people were very excited about Spawn, which was what our champion Pete managed to snag Spawn in the early going. What do you think about that?
I was pretty surprised. I thought the Rocketeer was going to be the one that everybody was clamoring after, and that would be the sleeper pick of the draft to really pull out a big win. And your team that you represented for Chris really, didn't hold up to what you thought was going to be in your list there. It was a pretty tough draft for you guys, I thought.
Oh, it's like you say, you hope in a snake draft that it's going to come in your favor. We didn't even get a back-to-back pick there. That is for sure. We definitely ran into a few snags as every one of the alternates was scooped up. By the time I was trying to make those selections, I have met with Chris in the intervening weeks, and we'll see how he feels about it. It's certainly kind of rough there at the end, but it's all good. It's all good. As we close this out, we're looking towards the future. Everybody's always wanting to see what's next. What's next? So, what are the thoughts here? What are we thinking is going to change in the draft next year?
So we got a couple of different ideas that we've bounced around in the conversation, which I thought were really exciting. I'm definitely thinking about doing a bracket style March Madness event in March of 2024, which is going to be a lot of fun. We could do sort of a vote as you go kind of poll style, bracket system, which is going to be very interesting. One of the things that I thought was kind of a cool idea we might be trying to play around with next year's draft, people have been talking about pairing the characters with a creative team, and I am all on board for that. So if you could figure out a creative artist and writer to write a story about this team, man, that's going to be like the juggernaut of all drafts. It's going to be wild.
Okay, well, something to look forward to for next year, fantasy draft fans. And of course, we want to thank everybody who chose to participate this year, especially our guest of honor, Greg Orlando. Great to have you there with us, Mr. Orlando. Excellent work in participating in the draft. But we also, last question here, Commissioner, is there any truth to the fact that next year's draft may be sponsored by Defiant Comics? Jim Shooter may be reviving that line using the fantasy draft to boost the profile.
There's always a chance. You just got to read those tea leaves. You'll never know what you're going to find.
You heard it here first.